Yeah, and I think it's some crazy number. I can't remember what it is, but the number of new searches done on Google every day, like completely new, never been asked before. And I'm assuming a lot of people, it's because they get to the end of page one, they don't find what they're looking for, so they retype in the question versus, oh, I'm not going to bother clicking on the next page and the next page and the next page. Yeah.
And it can be tough. And you know, I think one of the things that's important when you're trying to address people's questions is having robust blog posts, so that you maybe have a little bit of a longer piece of content that people can skim for the answers to their questions. And that's why it's important to have, you know, subheads and all sorts of things to break up the copy, bullet points, because we skim content. We don't, people aren't going to come to your 1,200 word blog post and probably read the whole thing. They're coming to it because they want to get an answer to a specific question in many cases. And once they've got that, again, they're on to something else. They're clicking on, you know, what's going on with the Super Bowl, or what's a great recipe for chocolate chip cookies. I mean, you know, we get distracted very easily. So you need to make sure that the content you have is digestible and is something that can appeal to different questions that people may have too. You may be able to answer several questions on a topic within one piece of content, but not everybody's going to, rarely are you going to see that somebody's going to read the entire piece of content. If it's something that's longer, a shorter piece, yes, you know, you can probably bet that a lot more people are going to be reading it from beginning to end. But if it's 200 words, 300 words, that's not much time that they're spending with it. If you've got a guide that takes 10 minutes to read, well, chances are they're going to pick and choose. They're going to cherry pick what they want from that piece of content and move on.
And I do see it on in newsletters, probably more than on articles, but people are now putting read time at the beginning. Is there a benefit to that, do you think? Or is that a negative? And because sometimes I'll look at it and go, oh, I haven't got 10 minutes to read it, so I'm going to put that aside, and then I might forget it. So I'm wondering if there's a plus or a minus to that.
I think there are pluses and minuses to it. The plus is, you know, sometimes I look at it and go, okay, it says 10 minutes. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes with it. So I need to dive in, find what I want, and get out of there. Now, there may be some people who are like, oh, 5 minutes, that's not bad. I could spend, you know, that's nothing. You know, I spend more time than that watching stuff on Netflix. So it's a good use of my time. So, but again, like you said, it can be a deterrent if you see something that has a 10-minute read time. But I always look at it as, okay, they're telling me 10 minutes. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But it tells me that it's robust and that there's a lot of information there, and that chances are I can find what I want within that piece of content, and and move on and go do whatever else I need to do online.